All right, Lad Lane Leopards, the time has come for our championship video. In our Final Four matchup on the left side of the bracket, we had the Three Little Pigs versus Pigsty. This was a very close match. Each book had won by a good amount all the way through to this point. And now when they faced off, our winner by only 17 votes is Pigsty. On to the championship game. All right, on the right side of our bracket, our Final Four was between The Lost and Found by Mark Teague and How I Became a Pirate by David Shannon. These were also popular books who obviously did well all the way through the bracket to make it to the Final Four. And our winner between The Lost and Found and How I Became a Pirate is How I Became a Pirate. Advances to the championship. Now, which book will be number one between Pigsty by Mark Teague and How I Became a Pirate by Melinda Long and David Shannon? This is it, boys and girls. Last chance to vote for who you think should be our champion. Enjoy, and don't forget to put your votes in the comments.
How I Became a Pirate by Melinda Long and David Shannon. Pirates have green teeth, when they have any teeth at all. I know about pirates because one day when I was at the beach building a sandcastle and minding my own business, a pirate ship sailed into view. I knew what it was because its flag had a skull and crossbones on it, and because I could hear the pirates singing, "Hey ho, blow the man down." They were a little off key. I tried to tell Dad, but he was busy setting up the beach umbrella. I tried to tell Mom, but she was busy slathering my baby sister with sunblock. So I went back to my sandcastle, but I kept an eye on the pirates. By then, they were rowing back to shore. When they landed, the head pirate climbed out of the boat and yelled, "Ahoy there, matey! Be this the Spanish Main?" "No," I said, "this is North Beach." "Shiver me timbers," the pirate said. "We must have taken a wrong turn at Bora Bora." He walked around my sandcastle. He looked at the moat and yelled back to his crew, "He's a digger, he is, and a good one to boot." The others agreed. "What be your name, matey?" the head pirate asked. "Jeremy Jacob, sir," I told him. "Well, Jeremy Jacob," he said, "you're looking at Braidbeard and his crew. We've been needin' a digger like yourself. We've had a chest of treasure to bury." "Aye, treasure!" the others shouted. "You're coming with us," Braidbeard told me. I didn't think Mom and Dad would mind, as long as I got back in time for soccer practice the next day. That's how I became a pirate. As soon as we were on board, Braidbeard showed me the chest of golden jewels. "Got to find a safe place for this here treasure. It's time we were off," he announced. "We're off," we all shouted, and then we set sail. There was plenty to do on board. The pirates taught me to sing sea shanties, the louder, the better, and to say real pirate stuff like landlubber and scurvy dog. By dinner time, I could speak pirate perfectly. I also learned pirate manners. Braidbeard pounded his fist on the table and yelled, "Down the hatch, me laddies! Down the hatch!" we all shouted. Braidbeard gulped his food and said, "Hand over the meat!" "The meat!" we all roared. Nobody told us to finish our spinach. There wasn't any. Or to chew up our carrots. They weren't allowed on board. We talked with our mouths full, and nobody said please or thank you. After dinner, I tried to teach the pirates to play soccer. Braidbeard kicked the ball and yelled, "Arr, soccer! Arr, soccer!" the crew yelled. Then everybody dove for the ball at once, and it rolled right off the deck. "After it, me hearties!" Braidbeard commanded. "After it?" we all whispered. We fought over who could go get the ball, but it didn't matter anyway, because a shark came along and swallowed it in one gulp. So much for soccer. By now, it was past my bedtime, but nobody tells pirates to go to bed, to take a bath, or to brush their teeth. Maybe that's why their teeth are green. Pirates sleep with one eye open, just in case. And they don't change into pajamas unless they want to. Pirates don't do anything they don't want to, except for maybe swabbing the decks. I wanted to be a pirate forever. But when I found out what else they don't do, when I couldn't stay awake any longer, I asked Braidbeard to tuck me in and read me a story. "Tuck you in?" he bellowed. "Pirates don't tuck." "No tucking," the crew cried, and the only thing they had to read was a map. Don't you have any books? I asked. Braidbeard looked confused. Books? I didn't even bother to ask about a good night kiss. It wasn't easy to fall asleep without a story, but I was finally dozing off when the storm broke. Thunder boomed and lightning flashed. I tried to hide under the covers as waves slammed up against the ship, but I kept falling out of my hammock. I couldn't find anyone in the cabin. They were all on deck. "Lower the sails!" Braidbeard shouted. "Batten down the hatches!" Everybody ran around yelling and lowering and battening. Nobody had time to sit close and tell me it would be over soon. Nobody even noticed me. I decided that I didn't want to be a pirate after all. Just then, flash, crash, crack. Lightning hit the mast and it split right down the middle. "What'll we do now?" yelled one of the pirates. "We'll have to turn back," called another. "But the treasure!" hollered Braidbeard. "Where will we bury the treasure?" I stepped forward. "Maybe I can help," I shouted over the wind. "I think I know the perfect digging spot." When the storm was over, we rowed back to shore and buried the chest. We drew a map so we could find the treasure again, but I don't think I'll need it. After that, the pirates repaired the ship and got ready to set sail. Before they left, Braidbeard handed me a flag and said, "You'll make a fine pirate, Jeremy Jacob. Guard that treasure well. We'll be back to get it soon enough." "Soon enough," the crew repeated. "And if you ever need us," Braidbeard added, "just run the Jolly Roger up yonder pole." "Up yonder pole," the others shouted. "And maybe I will, but not today. I have soccer practice."
Today's March Madness book is Pigsty by Mark Teague. Monday afternoon, Wendell Foltz's mother told him to clean his room. "It's turning into a pigsty," she said. Wendell went upstairs. Much to his surprise, a large pig was sitting on his bed. "Pardon me," said Wendell. He shoved some toys into his closet, but the pig didn't seem to mind the mess, and Wendell found that he didn't mind the pig either. He decided to take a break. When Wendell's mother came to look at his room, the pig was hiding, but the mess was still there. She threw up her hands. "Okay, Wendell," she said, "if you want to live in a pigsty, that's up to you." Wendell could hardly believe his luck. Now I can live however I want. He didn't even worry when he came home on Tuesday and found a second pig in his room. The mess had grown a bit worse, but he was able to jam most of it under his bed. "Pigs are all right," he said, "as long as it's only one or two." In fact, they had a wonderful time. They played Monopoly until late each night and left the pieces lying all over the floor. They had paper airplane wars and pillow fights. The bed became a trampoline. Then 2 more pigs showed up. The mess just grew and grew. That night, when Wendell went to bed, the pigs were lying everywhere. They rolled up in his blankets and hogged his pillows too. Wendell told himself he didn't mind, but then he found hoof prints on his comic books. And Friday, when he got home from school, he saw that someone had been sitting on his basketball. And his baseball cards were chewed. "That does it," said Wendell. "I've had enough." He ran downstairs to tell his mother. "Sorry," she said, "but your room is your responsibility." She handed him a broom. Wendell started to complain. The mess was too huge. But suddenly he remembered a saying he'd heard that many hooves make light work. He marched upstairs and organized a cleaning crew. They swept and scoured, polished and scrubbed. Later that afternoon, Wendell inspected his room and pronounced it clean. In fact, it was a bit too clean from a pig's point of view. So while Wendell inspected, the pigs prepared to go home. One of them made a phone call, and a farm truck came to pick them up. They hugged and grunted and oinked goodbye. From that day on, Wendell kept his room clean, except for those nights when his friends came by to play Monopoly. The end.
Now, I know you've enjoyed both books because both books are in the championship for a reason. So please vote and see who is our winner this year.